Hey Soul Tribe, it's Kate and Kerry.
We are so excited to have you hear this new episode. Please review and subscribe at the end. It's free and it helps us keep spreading our message to you, our awesome listener. Thanks so much and enjoy the episode.
Hey guys, what's up? It is Kate and Kerry, another episode of Soulsessed Twins. We're so psyched to be here. I am your host, Kate in New York.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Kerry in California. And Kate and I are super excited to be coming at you once again with another epi for the Soulsessed Twins. And Kate, you want to say what we were basing the episode off of?
Sure. So I actually saw the other day on Instagram this guy, Eric Worre. He's, I guess, one of another kind of motivational guys. And he did just such a simple post on 3 things that are keeping you stuck. And Kerry and I sent it to Kerry and we just said, you know what, this is such a great episode to expand on of what he was talking about, these 3 things. And the 3 things are: 1, focusing on things that you can't control, focusing on things that you don't have, so lack, and focusing on the past or the future. So those 3 things, and it resonated with me because I definitely think in my worst of times of, coming to a bottom, or even just throughout my life, when I look back, when I really do feel stuck, all 3 of these things play a role, or one of them do. Somewhere in there, this is in the mix, these 3 things that could keep you stuck.
Yeah, exactly. And I really loved, because it's just so common, I think, for most people just, growing up and then into, young adulthood, to wake up and immediately put on the news, right? Or, just that's really the main contributor. I think that when you start your day with something like that, this is where, it's going to lead into the episode of why that will have you spin out in your day, where the focus just has you on things that you can't control, right? So the news is just blasting negativity and on purpose, and really having you just, I don't think you realize it until you step away from watching the news every morning like that, on the effect it truly has on you and the focus the news is zeroing in on, which is just like horror, catastrophe, just real negative stuff that has a tremendous impact on your nervous system, your focus, your mindset. And it's really stuff that is out of our control to deal with. So to start your day immediately looking at stuff like that, it's not the best.
Yeah, and it instills fear. I mean, I
Yeah.
used to do that. I used to watch the news or just have it on as sound in the background. And yeah, you don't realize by osmosis, like, they are feeding you fear. You're also angry from it because there's so much divide going on that they love to advertise and talk about and promote and all of that. And it's like, I don't even listen to the news anymore, which, I don't know at all what's going on in the world, except for, major.
Yeah, like
This is,
important things. But
yeah.
like if I put the news on, like when I'm putting on a game, for instance, and the news will like be wrapping up, I'm like horrified at what they're doing to it's like disgusting. It's literally like every single negative little hiccup that happened throughout the day is blasted out there and exaggerated. It's just total fear mongering. And it's like, oh my God. So it is just like attention grabbing. They want your clicks, they want your views. And what I do now is just really know the main things that are important to know. Like Kate said, like, I don't know much of what's going on in irrelevant stuff, but stuff that's relevant and important to know. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And too, even with the important stuff, say, with wars and all of that, what's going on. If you listen to that, though, 24 hours a day, or hours, a few hours, a couple hours a day, that's the feeling I feel of what we're talking about, is focusing on things you can't control. It makes you spin
Yeah.
out of control, because then you're thinking, I can't do anything. What can I do? And you're looking outward of what you think that, trying to control outside, where the real focus has to be within us. And that was, the other episode of what we can control is ourselves. And it's a lot of times taking care of ourselves so that we can be of service and we can be of use to our outside world, our family, our friends.
Yeah, and exactly. Like I like being informed, and then that's it. You don't, I don't sit there watching things for hours. It's just useless. It's a wait time suck, and it's an energy, mind, body, soul destroyer. So to put yourself in, you know, to be informed and then get into care, right? Which is like, what can I do personally? Get yourself right? Take care of you so that you could even be possibly available to take care of others. So that's what we're talking about. Those are things you can control. Going on a walk, writing a card to somebody, or making a phone call, or meditation, or right, gratitude, which brings us to our next one, right? Which is focusing on things that we don't have,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And, when we do that, it's so easy when you're feeling down, right? Like not feeling like you have things that you would like in your life, or even just being in that habit of looking at things negatively and in the lack mentality, just will have you in more of a negative space. And to really get out of that habit, it's so trained, it's unreal, right? It's like such a ritual, and just something that we're so habitually doing, which is like your mind is basically on a tape. So it wakes up and it just does what you've told it to do. So if you're used to focusing negatively, it just goes there, right? What I don't have, oh, this is wrong, or the house looks like shit, oh, this and that, and right. So to really just start to cognizantly and consciously change it on, what do I do? What do I have? Well, I have a house, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And which will actually motivate you to take care of it. And you're looking at something like, ugh, it's disgusting, or this or that. You don't want to do anything good for it. You hate it.
Mm-hmm.
So to turn it around with the gratitude, and Kate and I always say, make a list of a gratitude list, but really feel it. Like really, really start to tune into that energy field of gratitude, of having what you have, your family, your health, yourself, if you don't have family, whatever it is, but things that you do have: a job, food in the fridge, warmth, a blanket, bed, coffee to drink, like literally simple things, a car to drive if you have one, things like that, to really like, wow, I actually have a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And start building that energy to go from there, because you're getting out of lack and into abundance.
Yeah. But anytime you focus on what you don't have, that's it. It brings in self-pity and it brings in despair. So that when you're feeling like that, we're thinking about all that we don't have, your whole vibe goes down, all of it. So it's like, low level living. It's like
Yeah.
really what it is. It just keeps you stuck because our mindset becomes so negative, and we just rehearse over and over, I'm never going to have, I'm never going to get, life sucks, life's unfair. It is like total victimhood, total self-pity. And instead of that, you'll bring in gratitude. It is those little things, even if you don't have a car. Like I remember, living in the city and just being so grateful for public transportation, that it was there to get me from A to B. It is the littlest things. I think when you start small, see the small things so that the big things come in. It really
Yeah.
is where the start of gratitude comes into play, is where those little things, because I remember starting out with gratitude and I was like, I can't think of one thing, like what? Because you always have you I always thought like I had to think grand, like this like out of this world thing that I would be grateful for. And it's like, no, just that I had nail polish remover to take off my nail polish, you know? It's like it's those little things. Thank you, God.
Yeah, and also because staying in, the lack mentality, and I don't have this and I don't have that, or I wish I had this, I wish I had that, really spins you into the comparison game. That's where you're just constantly looking at others like, well, they have it, I don't, right? So it really just like bleeds out into this entire, tailspin of what I don't have and what others do have. And, pulling it in where it's small of like, wow, I have a hot cup of coffee to drink right now, and a blanket, and cozy in my bed or on the couch, or just a couch to sit on. It really just pulls you present. The
Mhm.
idea of it is like it really just like pulls you inward and pulls you now, and it's like, okay, like a reality check, and out of these things that need time to build toward, right? So it's like, I wish I had this, but that takes time to build toward. So it is just, you're just going to sit there and sort of, a negative feeling toward it. But when you're pulling inward and pulling it to now, then you can really generate that energy of what would produce that thing, right? Well, I'm feeling good, to then like, okay, then your wheels can start to spin because you have some positivity going on, and generate some inspired action like, well, I could do this, right? Because you're so much more present.
Which is into the third part of this, which is, where we get stuck is when we
Yeah.
focus on the past or the future. And it is so crazy though, like when we think about it, how crazy it is that we dwell on things that already happened. Like as if as if any of it will ever change. It's just so bizarre. Like it's so, if you think about that, like what
Yeah,
the fuck are we doing?
I know. That's why it's like, that's why they say like the brain is sick. It's like sick and twisted and mean. It's like cruel, right? And it's really too, it's like left with such incompletion. So
Yeah.
that's why Kate and I always stress like you really do have to do the work so you can just sort of close chapters and be more present, to not just be ruminating in the past, right? So close those doors, but also too, again, back to it's habitual. We're so trained to just ruminate and just, oh, right? And I
Mhm.
love when Joe Dispenza, amazing if you don't know him, Dr. Joe Dispenza, he says, you got to catch yourself. You're either going to be ruminating on the past or envisioning the future,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So we're either ruminating on the past or nervous and worried about the future, or you can change it to stop, stop at the negative part and aspects of things and start to envision your future. What do you want it to look like? Get excited about it. What does that feel like? It literally changes your chemical makeup and changes the tape in your brain to start to be more positive and start to have a more positive outlook on your opportunities. And guess what show up?
Mhm.
Opportunity,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
It's like literally just happened to me. A lot of change going on, wanting like more stability, more, just wanting to set myself up financially better. It's like, all right, I have some real estate prospects and I just want more, and I want more, guaranteed, right, income coming in. And I'm like worried as anything. I'm like, oh, and then I'm just like, okay, bring it in. Like, what can I do? And I can't even tell you, like, so many things getting grounded and settled like that came my way that was like astounding. Old clients. I did the work though. This isn't like fairy dust and sprinkling. What can I do? Universe, just do it. No, I thought, what can I do? And I had inspired action to call every single past client, to email every past client, to, oh, let me look at this lead generator, got hooked up with them, got a couple leads that came in. Oh, put out there and was looking for possibilities and opportunities. Saw another realtor looking for some help, doing some work on the back end for him. Unbelievable. And then it just like set things up for me where I'm like, oh, that's amazing. Had me just be sitting there spinning on worry, because real estate, like Kate and I have said, it's not guaranteed, and you do your best, but and you generate business, but I'm like, oh, I need something more guaranteed. I want something coming in, and this is where this helping this other realtor with guaranteed business and working on things that will guarantee generation to bring in income. I'm like, done. It's just unbelievable, right? The mindset switch to then be open to what's in front of you, what's right there, and in it comes.
Yeah, I mean, it really takes away, it goes from self-pity and despair into bring it into the present moment. And what can you, that's all there is this moment now, is this very moment. That is the only time that exists. So when we can bring ourselves back into it, be present, that's the only time opportunity is going to come in. That's what what you have, like what I constantly always have to grasp with is that, I think because when you do reconcile with your past, with the work, and go through a process of surrendering it and really owning it, it doesn't own you anymore. So I think that freedom in and of itself helps my past not own me. I shared it with all of you guys, so did Kerry, on this podcast, of where we've been, where we've come from, because I don't care about it anymore. It doesn't make me, that feeling of like, oh my God, I'm never going to tell anybody this, I'm taking it to the grave. Like, it doesn't own me. I don't care about it anymore. So I don't stay in the past long, because there's no value to it for me. The only value is it if somebody comes and, I'm talking with somebody and it could be of service, it could be useful to them, but that's it. That's as far as it goes anymore. And it's so true. Like, my future is bright because my present actions are getting me there. Like, my future, yeah, there would be so much fear and worry. Wow. Just like thinking about that, just because we think we're so paralyzed and we think about the things that we can't control and all the stuff that we don't have. So that, how could you not worry about the future? But when we take ownership and take control of our present moment, and what are the couple things that I could do right now, this day, and don't overwhelm yourself. Just make one or two things that you could do that's positive towards the goal that you have.
Yeah. And I mean, it's like action is everything. It just really is. And so the second that you can, get out of spinning, and I also do want to stress, like, things have to be worked through. Like, this isn't like la la land of just like, you're not going to worry ever again in your life. Like, that's just not reality. And I also think that there's so much benefit to going there, to going to the dark spaces and really carving out like where you're at so that you can get to where you really want to go, like internally, like thinking like, okay, what do I want? Like, these moments are really important in order to carve out like your true path and carve out like what you really do want to have happen, right? So, just to reiterate that, like, I think it's important to be fucked up. Like, I think it's important to, be like, the gold is pain is the touchstone to spiritual growth and to find out some answers. So to really go there and then not stay there and get the gold from it so that you can get out of what you can't control, get out of the past, get out of what you don't have and start to generate, okay, what do I want here? What do I want to do? Inspired action comes. And it's just amazing, like, to really start to instill like self-help practices and really have an idea of things that you can do by, practicing them. It comes so much more easily and quicker so that you can get into solution. And it's just amazing just to do little tweaks on your mindset to just get into a positive space
and empower yourself.
Yes.
That feeling of like thinking that we, are helpless in our own lives is just such bullshit. And it really is just a mental shift. And there's this quote, which I love: in life, the only two things you can control are your effort and your attitude. Everything else is not up to you. And that's by S. McNutt, whoever that lady or fella is. But isn't that so true? It's really just keep that so simple. It really is just about our efforts and our attitudes. That's the things that we can control.
It's so true. There it is in a nutshell.
So we thought this was so important. I really think, thinking about just the things that mentally keep us stuck and flipping them so that we are in control of ourselves and feeling capable and, that we can operate in our own lives successfully. And these are the couple of things that you want to be aware of. So you're staying on track and that you can have positive outcomes just one day at a time.
Yeah, exactly. So if you do like catch yourself, because it's such a big one, we're just so used to ruminating on the past, catch it. When you start that, when that story starts, catch it, stop it, say nope, and start to change. I'm going to envision the future. Right now is great. What do I want to have? What am I excited about? And start changing your tape. And it's like, it literally will do it itself after like a month. It takes work. But, to change a tape like that you've had going for so long, it takes work to do it, but it's wild when it just starts to do it itself and you're not having the past come up like that all the time anymore. Oh my God, it's amazing and so worth it. Because then you're like, oh my God, this works, right? And you're feeling better. You're not sick all the time.
Yeah.
And come on, it's just amazing and it's possible and it's doable. And Kate and I wouldn't be sitting here sharing it if it wasn't and wanting to help others, because it really does work and it really does benefit and improve everything in your life.
For sure. I love it.
All right, guys.
All right, guys, another one in the books. We hope you enjoyed it. Please check us out on Instagram at Soulsessed Twins. Always, feel free to reach out. We love hearing from you.
And sorry, I sound like I smoked 40,000 cigarettes. I was screaming last night at the Warriors game. Oh my God. It was so fun, but I'm like, hi, I swear I don't smoke.
I thought you were still getting over your bug, which I have now.
A little bit, but it's way better. Hasn't it been?
Yeah.
It's a nice fall. Yeah. Here comes flu season. Get your shots.
Get your shots, people. All right. We'll see you. Have a good week, guys.
All right. Love you.
Stay tuned, guys. We are thrilled to be here with each other, and feel so privileged to try and carry a message of hope and positive change to one other person out there. So please subscribe and review and share our podcast to reach that person. And follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Soulsessed Twins and get daily inspo and connect with us.
Let's build this community together.
100%. So come back next week and we'll see you then.
Get soul-sessed with us, Soul Tribe.
That's it. Bye, guys.